Blue Ridge Spain has a number of business issues that should be addressed during the current process of dissolution. Dissolution involves the managed and formal ending of a partnership, and in the case of Blue Ridge, both key players' personal and business-orientated characteristics need to be considered from an intellectual perspective. The motivation behind the dissolution of Blue Ridge is due to escalating loan repayments and disparity between its partners. One key partner, Costas, has already left the business as disagreements were not able to be reconciled. The confidence for this venture moving forward has been placed into the hands of parent company Delta's newest employee, Sodagran, a Finnish graduate with expertise and knowledge in economic markets and marketing. Along with Talamoran's Vice President Alvarez, the pair are looking to utilize their similar skill sets in helping to plan an effective dissolution strategy. To achieve the goal of dissolution of the joint company, Alvarez and Sodagran need to put in place a change plan. They firstly need to understand the behaviours they want with the value satisfaction they want in order to achieve alignment. As Hoodlong phrased, communication is the blood that turns the organisation and unites all its members. Additionally, Miroshnik states, choosing not to see cultural diversity limits our ability to manage it. Moreover, modern, effective global management should be cross-cultural. Any form of cross-cultural management must start with efforts to recognise cultural diversity without judging it, to see differences where differences are. While such statements have been made with viable and continuing businesses in mind, the need for effective communication is essential in the dissolution process for both Delta's Sodagran and Tullamarines Alvarez. Sodagran and Alvarez have some differences in their approach that could lead to some difficulties. Where Alvarez makes rash decisions, Sodagran is results orientated. While Alvarez is social, Sodagran is not. Additionally, Alvarez ignores criticism, while Sodagran ignores plans. These two players combined will need to work towards any commonalities to ensure successful dissolution. They will need to have a plan for how disagreements will be expressed and how to deal with conflict. Increasing personal attachment between Sodagran and Alvarez would create an opportunity for boundary spanning. Boundary spanning involves taking any knowledge of another country to accommodate the cultural perspectives of that country. For Sodagran and Alvarez, a mutual understanding would be beneficial to avoid costly, rash, or unwarranted decisions. The benefits of transferring knowledge, mutual learning, and property sharing would be increased trust and suppression of opportunism. Increasing the personal attachment between the two key players would also increase the trust of the business for external customers and decrease vulnerability to threats in the current environment. In establishing trust, Sodagran will need to be more collaborative to meet Alvarez's collective perspective. This could be gained by building cultural awareness through cultural awareness training. The other recommendation on trust is a two-way conversation. Therefore, it is important to invite and respond to feedback. One of the theories Z recommends that trust can be established by involving employees in operational decision-making. This reinforces the need for trust. Morden T. 1995. Establishing an empathetic nature throughout the process will help negate any further conflicts. Such cultural training will enhance the understanding of relative stresses and difficulties specific to the Spanish market and subsequently establish a good, albeit brief, working relationship with the relevant Terra Mullen parties, Lane, etc. all.
Both Sodagran and Alvarez would benefit from a global mindset to manage the ever-growing complexities that is faced by business today, Lane et.al. 2009. Doing so, along with further developing interpersonal skills, will reduce the risk of conflict and lack of cohesion with business partners. Such is in the case of Min 2014 and Hadagalong 2017 and Bitsi 2006. Given Soderen's role as VP across Europe, South Africa, and Asia, the exposure to multiple cultures will be difficult. It's likely that he may be in countries of these continents for a long time, and such will benefit from basic integration, language, and role-playing training specific to the culture of these nations. Lane, ETL, 2009. A tolerance for the speed of change would be beneficial. The change needs to be slow as the cultural environment of Spain develops slower than other countries. Both Alvarez and Soderen are similar, whereby they are both motivated by the work that they do and if it's meaningful. Alvarez and Soderen need to focus on their hearts rather than their minds in developing their dissolution plan. This includes focus on social orientation, making sure that it's people-centered, taking a long-term perspective, build loyalty and group values, contributions, making sure that they're assessed over one's lifetime rather than short-term contributions, reliance on psychic rewards, expertise, not vulnerable to external exploitation, management more of an art. This means less about the logic, task focus, self-interest. A need to continuously manage resistance and monitor outcomes will ensure smooth dissolution of Blue Ridge. Soderen and Alvarez will need to be aware of their strengths, opportunities and weaknesses and threats to their operation while they proceed to close off the business operation and end the formally established agreement. To support this, Alvarez and Soderen will need to showcase short-term wins and reinforce the change, reward new behaviours and benchmark new behaviours.